Hello, hello, hi. Hi everyone, welcome on in. Turns out I don't know how to do math. For my commissions for like September and whatever, right? For like a full month, I reduced the price of my mascots. Unfortunately, sorry. I wrote 30% off in the previous one. Yeah, it turns out it was 35. Whoops. So yeah, I only realized that today, so quickly fixed that. But hi, welcome on in. Who's joined us? Let me scroll up. Hi, Nadia. Hi, Koma. Mm. Hi, Hotshak. Hi, Goldie. Hi, Akaza. Welcome, welcome. Hey, one of these guys is missing. Hold on. Okay, perfect. Now, I did have coffee today. Um, I just need to resist drinking a lot when it comes to nighttime because then I can't sleep, and sleep is important. I'm the kind who, if I don't get like my usual amount of sleep, I get super groggy, and I'm basically a zombie the whole of the next day. So we don't do that here. We try to be well rested, very productive. You could try caffeinated in the day, decaf at night. I mean, what's the point of decaf coffee? I drink coffee for the caffeine. I hate the taste. It tastes like dirt to me. Hey, sleep, not sleeping to catch the stream. If you were already awake, all right, that's fine. But if you're fighting to stay awake during the stream, I don't know how I feel about that. We have VODs. I guess it's not the same, but decaffeinated coffee's just dirt. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, put it this way. I drink coffee, even though it tastes bad, I overcome the taste simply because I need the caffeine. But I did drink some, I think, at like 5 p.m. today, so it should still be in my system. Ori, how well do you know Star Wars lore? I watched the movies. I don't count the sequels; they don't exist. I watched the movies and I watched the Clone Wars, Rebels, and the Mandalorian, and also those little shorts that talk about like the extended universe. So I know a little bit here and there. Not fighting for it, but I want to be here. Well, thanks for joining us. Do you know the tragedy? Is that the guy who? This was in the movie. Hold on. Was it the guy who I think was trying to learn immortality or something, but then his apprentice killed him before he could like pass on the secret? Speaking of D&D, which I just remembered, one of my friends this Saturday, right? Instead of me hosting, right? One of my friends decided to continue their one shot and make a little bit of what's it called? A little short term campaign, and I finally got to play my psychotic druid character, and I have created. Hold on, let me find this. Hold on, hold on. It's a picture I want to show you guys. So, I finally got to play my character, and at the end of the session, I made this list. I went through the Geneva Conventions and I realized I broke one, two, three, four, five, six I committed six war crimes in the span of 3 hours. That is one war crime every 30 minutes. Not bad for my first time as a player. More like Geneva suggestion. Exactly. Do you not see what's titled here? My character's name is Daphne. They're this ray of sunshine druid that is a blight upon the world. Only six. Okay, I only had 3 hours. Okay, so yeah, I was so happy. What species is the druid? I think elf or half elf. One of them. Easy, you can multitask. True, but it was mostly just we went to a village, we talked to a few people, and then we went to fight like a camp of bandits. I have to say, I am impressed. I didn't have much to work with, but yeah. You know what my favorite thing is? There is this spell. It's called Contagion, which basically you touch someone and you give them a disease. Now, that's used in combat for all sorts of, like, buffs and debuffs and all that stuff. You know what I would do? I would go to the random villagers and I would shake their hands, and every time like I touch someone, I cast the spell Contagion. And I tell the DM, I'm like, hey, I no, that counts as biological weapon. As you can see, it's ticked here. Yeah, I would say like, oh, I shake their hand, and I cheerfully tell them this, and I secretly cast Contagion. I give them the bubonic plague every single time. So, do you know how messed up that character was? We were talking to the village chief, right? And his assistant was supposed to show us where like the bandits are, and then like head back to what's it called, the town. But before he could and like combat started, I just like grabbed his arm, like, don't worry, you're staying with us. I will be at the back. I will protect you. We'll be fine. Roll persuasion. He stayed with us. Combat started. I'm like, okay. I grab his arm. We kind of like flank around. We sneak into the heart of their base. Enemy's turn. I turn to my DM and I tell him, hey, I want to point out that I did not roll stealth. We are not sneaking. We've basically just run into the camp. Those people definitely see us. They turned to the guy. He was right in front of me, used him as a human shield because, he was between me and the enemies. So that's one. And they cut him down. I ran away. After the fight, we went back to the chief. Do you know what I did? I'm like, oh, your friend fell. He died, blah, blah, blah. I'm so sorry for your loss. I pat him on the shoulder and I tell the DM, I secretly cast Contagion. I give him the plague. And that's where the session ended. Honestly, I had a blast. I want to be a player more. So that was my weekend. What about you guys? Or are you familiar with the Sith rule of two? I am. I think it's a stupid rule, but Daphne's gonna be the BBEG and I'm here for it. Exactly. I even told like out of character, I'm like, hey, this is not a good person. They are a rabid animal and a blight upon the world. They deserve to be put down. Do you know what my favorite thing to do is? Every time like someone tries to offer us a reward for like the quest, um I would always step in front of the party and be like, there is no need to pay us. Performing a good deeds and heroism is all the reward that we need. You can keep the money. And that upsets my friends who are in my party. And they always just shove me aside. They're like, shut up, don't listen to her. The best menace, right? While everyone thinks I am secretly this innocent ray of sunshine, and I live for it. I want to see how long I can go before my friends kill me. Good times. This is rule of two. The Sith rule of two is evidently not stupid and allowed the Sith to nearly destroy the Jedi. True, but it's less fun. Think about it. You could potentially have like thousands of Sith running around. Red lightsabers are cool. Might take a while. Sadly, as everyone that sadly as someone that also loves messing with their DM, it takes a while. Everyone is having a blast, Ryan. So I don't think they would kill me outright. Like out of character, they know that I'm a menace, but in character they do not. That person that I led to their death was done where people could not see, right? So all they heard was like fighting noises and they came around and the guy was, gone. Ooh, that broke the model. Wait a minute. Okay, that should fix it. Yeah, that's a bit too much of the lore that I don't know. I'm not the biggest Star Wars nerd. I like the movies and ooh, I loved Clone Wars. The movies were so in my opinion. It's a good tactic, but I'm gonna be honest, thought the checklist would be a lot longer. Yeah, but there are some crimes that are like kind of just not funny. So I want to do ones that are just like evil but not like creepy cuz at the end of the day, yeah. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot to switch back to here I was working on the model. Whoops. I think there's like at least I watched a video that just made a list of like the war crimes summarized because I'm not going to read the actual Geneva Conventions. That's like long and all in legal speak. I just watched like a 8 minute long video that just said what the crime is and like the punishment. And I just took like the best ones and the most what's it called? Ones that realistically that I could do. And I made a list and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be doing these during my session. I must say, I love all the little guys. I want to pet them. All little, look at them. You mean there's little mascots or little guys running on the screen? I took the best ones out of the Geneva Convention. You know what? I should take a screenshot of that. I was talking to Hotcheck. I need to figure out a way of time stamping certain parts of the stream. So it makes it a lot easier to like draw out stuff for clips. Because I don't want them to like sit through all of the VODs and like scrape through it because that is like a lot of work. Let me save this for later. So we don't forget. There's a stream marker through StreamerBot that I've bound to my Steam Deck. Oh, how does that work? Because I think that would be like perfect. But if you want more Sith, there's the Sith, something from Old Republic era. I remember something like that. Okay, I played that one Star Wars MMO, Knights of the Old Republic, I think. Simply because I think I had a friend who's like a huge Star Wars fan, and he got me to play it. It was pretty cool. I didn't know anything that was going on. It played kind of like Final Fantasy, I think. You know, like gameplay wise, but just Star Wars themed. And I was like, I just ran around for a little bit. I remember doing some quests. Even though I was Jedi, I did go ahead and get like a red lightsaber because that's what we like to do. Oh, we're being raided. Hello. Hi, Crescent. Welcome on in. What are you guys doing? Playing art. Oh, what are you guys drawing? Wait, sorry. I need to be professional streamer. Hi everyone. Welcome on in. I am Ordikai. I am artist. I am rigger. I make mascots. You see, like little guys here. Well, that is partially true. Mostly my streams are just yapping. So right now we talk about D&D, war crimes, and Star Wars. Welcome on in. I played that with a friend. I wanted to do all the bad decisions, but it was party choice, so the good ones kept winning. It was so annoying. Yeah. Don't you just hate it when you try to be evil and like the heroes of the party stop you? That's basically the kind of druid that I want to play. Hellhound Raid. Welcome on in. My favorite Star Wars games are the current Jedi games. Getting to play as an Order 66 survivor is cool. I know the games you're talking about, the EA ones. Because I've seen like clips of the gameplay and stuff. It looks really cool. I've never played it though. I played the Wii game where you're Vader's apprentice and I loved it. Ah. They have a Wii game. I thought Wii games were like for children. Yeah, the one with Cal. Yeah, that one. I've seen like clips of it, but never actually like played it or look, really know what the story's about, other than just survival of Order 66. Hey, I don't say that as a bad thing, right? I say that as a is it the does it have like violence and ow? Does it have like violence and bloodshed? Because I don't think I wouldn't expect that on a Wii game. How's your day, Orty? It is going great. I've checked mine, and if you have a Steam Deck, there's a Twitch integration that you can press a button that marks it. Mm, I don't have a Steam Deck. Can I just push a normal button on my keyboard? I don't want to spend money. It was 15, I believe. Ah. You know what? I want to check it out. Hold on. I'm Googling this. Star Wars Nintendo. Is it the Lego Star Wars? I'm seeing Force Unleashed. Oh, this one has like a lot of them. Force Unleashed, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Knights of the Old Republic, Sith Lords. I believe that's the one. Ah, okay. Huh. I wouldn't have expected it. Oh, Nintendo's okay. I was expecting like sorry, I was thinking Nintendo Wii, like the really old console. Force Unleashed is the one with Star Killer. I'm not familiar. There's probably a command. I will have to look into it. In the meantime, what I've done is I've just decided to screenshot it. Like I screenshot my stream avatar. I'm sorry, my stream. What's it called? Stream manager with like the time that is elapsed during the stream, and like the text and whatever. And the day is saved because I send it as an image in Discord, and yeah, slash Marco does that in chat. Add a stream marker with the current timestamp. Oh, okay. This is useful. Hi, Orca. Welcome on in. So why couldn't Disney actually adapted Grandmaster Luke Skywalker? Because it's Disney, yeah. Probably, I got some new updates with the reference sheet. I'll show you the back. Oh, okay, okay. I want to see. Ooh, it's pretty. I love the outfit. So I'm looking at Discord. I like it. Grandmaster Luke Skywalker moved a black hole. That seems a bit much. I don't buy it. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying I wouldn't have gone with that. It gets to a certain point, right? Where people are, they get too strong and it kind of just breaks everything. If that makes sense. OP heroes are boring. Every high level D&D game. Exactly. I have basically capped them at like level 9. Ori has clearly never seen One Punch Man. Okay, I love One Punch Man simply because they're not showing off like, hey, this is how cool that guy is. It's this show straight up is about the guy being depressed and bored because he's too overpowered. He's like, this sucks, right? Do you not remember it? Like the first episode where I think like he killed some enemy and it was like, oh my god, wow, he's so strong. And immediately, right? Sorry, I got distracted. Immediately, he's just sad. He's like, not again. I defeated them in one punch. He like wanted the thrill of battle. A vaccine net? I think so, yeah. Okay, well, that's not the gotcha. But what it does is it automatically rolls a thing. It's basically the same command, except like the chat is different. And if you roll like a nat 20, it tells you like, congratulations, you won a mascot. So yeah, a little bit of gotcha here. Mostly just to like support the stream, but hey, you never know. I said I got no bits. It's okay. We have a free option, which is 1 million channel points. Because I'm thinking if someone has like farmed up enough, if someone has farmed like 1 million channel points, they have been around the stream for so long that I will just straight up give them like a mascot. I should rewatch One Punch Man. But you see, that's okay. One Punch Man and what's that show? Mashley, Muscles and Magic, right? Those ones, those are like a great way of doing like an overpowered character, right? Because just saying like, hey, he's super strong and can't be stopped, he is so cool, is very boring. It's quite a bit. Yeah, because put it this way, if it's very cheap to farm like the mascot points, I say like 10 people show up, no interest in the stream, decide to farm for like a week, and now I have to make like 10 models for free for people who like, I don't care, if that makes sense. It's made so that it's a little unrealistic for someone who's only interested in like the thing. I mean, it's doable if they're committed enough, but I imagine the only people who'll reach that far are the people who are generally interested in like hanging out and like joining stream. Because you got to understand, time is money, and the people who can redeem that commission is basically, they're basically the ones who have like devoted a lot of time to the channel, and it's my way of giving back, you know? I won't be able to farm till I get the normal nat 20. If you get like the nat 20, what happens is it just throws like a ton of bricks at my face for free. It does like the many bonks command. That smart makes it worth it. Exactly. Nice, was the first roll I got on yours was nat 1. Yeah, what happens is it blows up all of the little sprites down here, which I think is funny. Now I'm hooked. Yeah. Now imagine if I got paid every time someone decided to roll the dice. I'd be able to retire. Lol mood. I feel like I'm not too sure like how I would feel about it if someone kept like was actually addicted to the spam and using bits, not channel points. I feel like I would impose like a limit if that ever happened. I'd be like, okay, you get like 10 pulls a day. Try to exceed that, you get banned from the chat for like 24 hours. From me alone at this rate. Yeah, please only send like bits and stuff if you can. I by no means need to get paid through Twitch simply because I am an artist. I get all my money through commissions. So for stream, there's no pressure to like encourage subs, bits, gifted, whatever. Need none of that. So long as everyone just shows up, has a good time, that's all I need. To be honest, love the vibes. It was a good decision to raid. Yeah, thanks for the raid and thanks for the follow. Yeah, we're if you came for the art, because I saw you doing art earlier, I apologize. We yap a lot. Okay, so my justification is I do art during the day, right? And then when it comes to stream time, I in quotes do art, but my progress is so little that it doesn't matter. There are days when I'm like super productive on stream, right? You know, we have our moments. But the reality is, we're a just chatting channel. Let's face it. Odie's great, thank you. Same, to be honest, art plus yapping is fun. It is, although sometimes we forget to do the art. My record, Ryan, is I think 3 hours stream. The only thing I did was I drew a single line. That's it. Not even exaggerating. Odie yaps for 99% of the stream. There is one time in recent history I completed a full model on stream, the rigging, in a single stream. I used to do that in the very, very, very beginning when I started streaming before I had my yappers with me. I kind of just showed up, was doing the art, was kind of narrating what I was doing, drawing, etc., so that someone who wants to use it as like a tutorial can. So back in the day, I used to show up and one stream, I'd rig one model. And then eventually, yappers started trickling in, and I enjoyed talking more than drawing. And then over time, I accidentally focused on the yapping and not the art. The art in the background is basically like the Subway Surfers footage that you'd see on like shorts and stuff. It doesn't matter what's going on there because people are there for like the yapping and the story. What are you gonna? You're going to Darth? I mean, I have no idea what that means. If that's a Star Wars reference, I don't get it. I try to, still very new to the world of streaming and learning what I can. Well, welcome to the world of streaming. I'm far from a seasoned streamer. I think I've only been here like a few months. And I feel like only recently I've kind of gotten into like the vibe of it, if that makes sense. Speaking of being new to streaming, now, are you guys familiar with like the AI streamer Neurosama? Pretty famous one. So, right? Hold on while I drink water. Datham is the planet Darth Maul is from. Oh yeah, I remember that was in I forgot which animated show. But yeah, so Neurosama is basically AI streamer, right? It's basically ChatGPT. If ChatGPT was a cute anime girl, right? Vidal's project, exactly. So I had popped into Hotcheck stream. Now Hotcheck is a programmer, and I saw he was trying to build like one of his bots, and he was talking about how it would be nice to chat with it during his streams, and that's when it occurred to me. I even wrote like in the chat like business idea. What if someone could make like basically something like Neurosama, right? And you make it as a commission, something off the shelf. You build the bot, clean slate, no personality, right? Then if someone commissions you, they're like, hey, I want to give my mascot, say they have a mascot model, they're like, I want to give my mascot this personality. So he just programs, oh, it is maybe it's quirky, it's funny, sarcastic, blah blah blah. He gives it that personality, ships the thing to them, and now they have an AI that they can chat with on stream. And why would anyone want this? What people fail to realize when it comes to streaming, unless they've done it before, is when you're just starting out, it is kind of hard to like continue yapping before like you have attracted any active chatters. And you're not gonna attract active chatters if you don't know how to yap by yourself without them. So I was thinking this thing would be perfect if you market it to newer streamers as a way of having someone to chat with when you're just starting out. There's like one or two lurkers, in the chat. That is very normal. That's how basically everyone starts, unless they, have a community that they're porting over. I think the big issue there is the hardware requirements. Otherwise, there's already tech to do that. It just has to be trained. Yeah, if it doesn't matter that like if it exists or is popular or whatever, if you package it and market it as a way of, because like, getting a bot to just chat with you in the chat, pretty easy. Throw in text to speech, not too tough. But if you get something, you package it really well and be like, hey, I made this revolutionary thing. You market it like air fryers, right? Okay, how many of you have an oven, right? And who has an oven and an air fryer? If you have both, what is the difference between the two? Think about it. An air fryer is basically an electric oven. It's all marketing. One heats the entire house. Kind of. I guess because it's bigger. But basically, air fryers are just miniature ovens. But the thing is, they've just been marketed as like this revolutionary technology and a must have. Ow. Did I miss something? What kind of lightsaber would you have? I want the red one. I'm not evil or a Sith. I just like the color. Or maybe a purple one, like that one guy. They also do a better job of crisping things. I don't know. Because basically, the way it works is it blows hot air on top of the food. A lot of electric ovens work the exact same way, right? So it's all just marketing. There's probably some differences here and there. And if I was moving into a place, I would buy an air fryer, not an oven, simply because, I'm one cat. I'm making portions for me. I don't need a whole oven. Only new ones that have an air fry mode. Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't know too much about ovens, except for the one that I have in this house. But I do know the technology is very, very similar. Like I was playing around with it in my house and I was like, the only difference between the air fryer and the electric oven here that I could find is just size, really. Do you want the chef's take on it? Yes. Give us your insight. I am not a chef. I am a cat who is rambling based on perception. Things that they have poked around and been like, this is what it feels like to me. So what I meant when you have a double blade, single blade, or a pike or a whip. I think single blade. No reason. I think they're just simpler. No need to be all fancy. My oven is too old for that. Don't get me started on the oven in my parents' house. I think it's older than me. It has to manually be lit with matches. It's like a gas oven. You light a match, you stick it in the oven, and then you like turn on the gas. I'd have a lightsaber like Hal's, more versatile. I'm now officially multitasking with this chat and art. That makes one of us. An air fryer is better at aeration. Ovens lack the air circulation to keep the moisture in the food, causing it to dry out. This is why air fryers tend to crisp food better. Not that they're the same, more than the air fryer is the better next step. They're close enough. If you have an oven, I would not buy an air fryer. Unless you make like really small portions and you want to just be like, energy efficient in the long run. But that's my take on it. In fact, that's basically what I've done with my mascot commissions, right? If you go on VGen right now and just type in live 2D mascot, I think I'm like one of the first ones that pop up. Is it because that mascots are a very unique thing and, have to be rigged in a special way? Nope. There is no difference in the way you rig a mascot compared to the way you rig a normal full body model, except for complexity, right? But back in the day when like the meta of mascots just started to like roll out and like all the big streamers are kind of hopping on the trend of like Chad mascots, I basically opened a commission and I specifically labeled it. I'm like, hey, this is mascot, right? This is mascot model. It is TTS asset. If people want it, that's what they're gonna search for, right? Anyone who's like a live 2D artist and rigger can make a mascot. But when people usually just search for random artists, I'm the one that pops up simply because like I leaned very heavily onto the marketing side. It is basically the air fryer of live 2D. Air fryers are best for people looking for quick or are only cooking single portions. Oven isn't irrelevant for the fact alone that they have a stovetop, can cook larger portions for guests or family. I don't have guests or family here, so yeah. I use the oven. Okay, I use the oven here only when I am cooking a pizza. You know, like the frozen one. It's because you can't cram it into like an air fryer. Ordikai of Live 2D. Exactly. It's all marketing. In fact, that's why I actually have, if you look at the bottom left here, that's why I have like 30% off, like on mascot commissions. Simply because it is September, right? Everyone is, getting gifted subs thrown at them and all of that stuff. They're reaching their goals, yada, yada, yada. What that means is after September, people who are creators will probably have a little extra money in their pockets. And you know what people like to spend money on? Things for their stream. So, yeah, it's my little incentive. I realized on VGen, like, you can actually make like the sales thing. And, you put like the discounts and like sales period and whatever. And yeah, that's what I did. I reduced the price from like 150 to $100, which I thought was 30%, but my math was wrong, and for like the longest time it's like 30% off, so I was like, whoopsie. I only realized that when I manually put it into VGen and I saw like, oh, I made a mistake here. I was offering a better deal. They just didn't know about it. There's some big enough for that. I feel like if I get my own place, that's like what I'd go for. Pick the right time to take a streaming break. It's okay, don't worry about it. September comes and goes. Every year, really. I wouldn't stress too much about it. Because put it this way, all that means is now you have time to build up the community even more so that when September comes around next time, there's more people to throw gifted subs at you. I don't know if people are interested in like the business talk of like the art and streaming world. I just find it fascinating. Oh yeah, my Discord is almost done. I can't wait for the chaos. Yeah. I imagine you'll put it on your Twitch. Or is it one of those like more private ones? Because I do know there was another VTuber, right? They had a VTuber Discord, but it was not public. Like they wouldn't share it like on their channel or with the exclamation Discord command. It was basically you seem cool. I'm gonna whisper the invite to you. I've never seen that before. But I guess that's like only practical if it's a smaller community. And I'm doing some personal mentions, then it's a free for all. Ah, okay, okay. My community is just worried that I'm breaking from my mental. Taking my head to not totally wrong, but not entirely factual. It's okay to just take like a break to rest. That's actually something that I've been learning to do recently, right? I think yeah, I think like this month there are like a few streams here and there where I feel like I was just like super tired, but I forced myself to stream anyway, and I feel like the energy was like very dead. So I was like, I think it would be better if like I'm not feeling it. I just put like a on the Discord. I make like announcement for the live ping and be like, hey, not streaming today. See you guys next time. And then on Twitch, there's like the schedule thing. I turn on vacation mode for that one day. And to be fair, I feel like just doing that one thing, missing like one stream, when I come around again, I feel so refreshed, so energetic. It's honestly, it's way, way, way better than just forcing yourself to do it. Because usually I have like 1 day break in between, but sometimes I may need 2 days break. Maybe I did like a lot of work, I was grinding and all of that stuff, and I just ended up exhausted. There's nothing wrong with taking a break if you need to. And that is a lesson that I myself am learning. So I may slip into my bad habits again, but hopefully not permanently. Wait a minute, I made a parameter for this. So for this mascot, they basically want a toggle where this is the VTuber's hat, and you'll notice it's like half eaten. Apparently, they have a redeem, right? Where the chat steals their hat to eat it for some reason. So I'm like, interesting. So what they wanted was like a little toggle. So I put like their hat, I chopped it up in like half, like it's eaten, and then I'm gonna put like the hands as if it's like holding it. So whenever someone redeems it, the little Chan mascot in the corner will actually hold the hat, and it'll be half eaten. It is pretty cute. I think they have a redeem which says like steel hat, but I think that just like toggles off the hat on the VTuber model. So now what'll happen is it'll toggle the model off. Sorry, it'll toggle the hat off of the model, and then the hat will appear half eaten on the mascot. I love cute little gimmicks like that. Adorable, yeah. I had a bit of art block working on a full body model that I was doing, simply because I think I'm still struggling to learn how to do hair. I feel like I've nailed rendering skin pretty well. The thing that I need to learn now is how to render clothes and render hair. So it's a lot of studying, a lot of learning about art. I feel like I don't know if rigging is easier, but I find it easier. But I decided, because I saw someone have a take, right? Basically, they said when it comes to making a model, good art can cover for bad rigging, but good rigging. Sorry, wait. Hold on. I think I tripped up on my words. Like very good art can cover bad rigging, but very good rigging can't really cover up bad art. So I'm like, if I want to increase the quality of my models, I feel like I have rigging like nailed completely. It's only art that I feel like I can improve like a lot more. So I'm like, I did it. What's it called? I really started training for my art. I think when was this? It was even before I started doing full body models again. But the grind has I felt really really inspired to, what's it called, really 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 improve. So I've been studying a lot of the artists that I really look up to. And yeah, it's mostly just me staring at their art, looking at all of the little tiny pixels and the shading. I'm like, what did they do? How do I reverse engineer this? Rigging anything looks very intimidating. I don't think so. I we actually had a stream the other day where I was rigging a mascot, and it was a collab stream, right? So it was basically come rig with me. And it was with Hotchak, right? I was going to make him a model, but he was interested in rigging himself. So I'm like, what if we just go on stream? I'll be rigging the thing live. You have the art file with you as well, and then you kind of follow along what I do. And within that like 3 hours, the mascot was done. And he had never rigged before. I'm going to be completely honest. Something like a mascot is simple enough that practically anyone can do it, right? And in my Discord, I usually am always ready to help if anyone has any questions. Like for example, I don't like sit down and teach them like, okay, you do this, you do that. Like if someone is interested, I point them to like YouTube tutorials, so that they can learn. And if they encounter any problems, like, hey, I have this error message and I've not found a solution in like 30 minutes. I've tried Googling, nothing works. I'll just take a glance and be like, oh, this error is because you put this one thing there. Remove that thing. They do that, problem goes away. Because the worst part about it is when you encounter an error and you don't know what it means and you can't find a solution. But turns out that error is like this one tiny little detail. So yeah, if you have someone to just like pop in, look at it and be like, "Oh, the problem is this. Good luck." That's all they need. They don't need someone to like hold their hand to like rig it. So yeah. Anyway, that's me marketing my Discord. I was about to do the exclamation Discord command, but Stream Elements beat me to it. Talk about perfect timing. Completely optional. But if you want to ask, that's where you go. Or if Discord is not your thing, you can straight up ask me on stream. There was a time where I feel like, yeah, someone was asking about like rigging hair, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's like so tough." I literally just paused what I was doing. I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna show you my secret patented technique on how to rig hair." And you see, like the middle lock of hair, the one that's like between my eyes. I basically took that and I threw it into live 2D. I'm like, okay, you do this, you do this, you do that, change these settings, do this, deform it like that, change the settings, put these numbers, and voila. It looks like we literally rigged it in 10 minutes. See the hair, the way it swishes back and forth, and then up and down. We did that in 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, do the exact same thing for every lock of hair, and you're good to go. Their mind was blown, and their life was forever changed. At least I like to think so. Casually jumping in, lol. Well, welcome on in. In fact, when I first started streaming, my streams, at least what I thought they were going to be was mostly just me rigging so that people can follow along and be kind of like a tutorial. So I think like no, those streams aren't available. Yeah, I uploaded them for like archive purposes, but I kept them unlisted. There is I don't remember if I uploaded the no, I haven't uploaded that VOD yet. But I have the one with Hardshag where rig his model. I think that one was like pretty kind of covers how to rig a model. In fact, I actually have one. Hold on. You know what? Let me look for this. This is wrong channel. Switch account. Ordi VODs. Okay, it's literally the latest thing that I uploaded. I have this is the VOD. This is the VOD of me making a rigging a model from scratch, uh, beginning to end. If you want to like, use it as like a reference, like if you ever wanted to see like what goes into rigging a model, this is the one. But anyway, that's enough of me self-promoing, for lack of a better term. I'll actually do work now. Okay, this eye is done. Nope. Gotta make it. No, wait, this isn't smile. Okay, these eyes are done. Okay, there we go. If you're gonna look into that, I always wanted a live 2D model. I've just been too intimidated about the process of making one. It's actually a lot easier than you would think. I don't know if you have ads. And if I'm talking to myself into the void. So I want to point out the irony. The sign that says I hate ads is covered by my own ad, so should probably move that to the side. I'll do that later. So we'll just wait for the ads to finish. I used to play Minesweeper during the ads, but this shouldn't be here. Yeah, I used to play Minesweeper during the ads, but then I kept losing, and I didn't want people to think I was dumb, so I just stopped. I just realized these are broken. Whoops. Welcome back, everyone. But yeah, live 2D rigging, not as scary as you might think. It's one of those things that you just dive into and then realize, oh, this actually isn't too bad. And then you practice it and then you become amazing at it. And then that's that. Like every other skill, takes a bit of practice. Like knowing what to do is not hard. It's just practicing how to do it, just like drawing. Because it comes to live 2D, the moment you like learn the fundamentals, you can rig basically anything. That's close enough. See, we've already finished the eyes. He can blink. He can smile. Also, see what I mean? Sometimes we can be productive. I feel like this isn't too complex of a model. We could finish it in a single stream if we went for like 4 hours. But I don't think I'll force myself. Ooh, also we hit our follower goal off stream again. I feel like the last 2, 3 follower goals were all met like when the stream wasn't live. So we can't celebrate them. Winning unknowingly still counts. True. I feel like what happened was I usually get shout outs. Maybe like when I raid in, or maybe someone's talking about like my art or something, and then they shout out the channel. And then like maybe like 3 or 4 people like start to follow because of that. Next thing I know, we've hit the goal. So my laptop is running so hot, it's like a personal heater. Yeah, my PC is like that when I stream. I didn't know why at first. I'm like, why does my room always get warm when it's streaming time? During the day, it's like fine, but then like streaming time gets like kind of hot. I realized because I'm streaming, I'm running OBS, all of the software, VBridger, VTube Studio, yada, 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 all of that stuff. It's kind of heavy for the PC, draws in a little extra power, so you always get a shout if I see you in chat. Any stream I recognize, get one. That's nice of you. We'll have to get ready to leave the house. It was awesome to meet you, though. Definitely hopping in for more streams. Well, thanks for raiding in, and nice meeting you. Ready to leave the house. I'm assuming you're going somewhere. Bye bye. Hmm. This is supposed to be higher up. I was considering making a full body model for myself, but I'm thinking if I do, I would want to change the design a little bit. The thing is, I don't know what to change it to because I don't want it to be like so different. It's like something else entirely. But I don't think I want to just go with like the simple robe, so to speak. So I just need to figure out. Hmm, I'm not the best at character design off the top of my head, but at the same time, I think maybe I should focus on lore first and then let the lore inspire the design. But I'm going to be honest, I really like the teacup model. So I don't know if I ever want to change it. Maybe I'll make a my 4.0 model because this one is like 3.0. Maybe the fourth one is basically just this exact model, just like the RTX on meme, you know? It's a lot of O's. That's not even the half of it. Let me show you what my VTube studio looks like. When I started streaming, this teacup model was labeled version 3.0. Since I started streaming, I have made tweaks, updates, patches, and now whenever I go to look for my model, this is what my VTube studio looks like. Bulk your model out. Maybe if I made like a non-chibi model, so it's just like a lot more massive, barely fits in the cup. But yeah, basically I have a bunch of. They're not even the same if you put them side by side. Like you can clearly see the difference. Because when I first made it, it was a little bit buggy and kind of janky. But eventually, what I did was I'm like, let me fix the bugs, let me patch some things in, let me replace the expressions. And then each time I did, like for example, I don't know if the first one even had this dice, right? Because the dice was supposed to be like for a full body model, but I got lazy. I just stole it from myself and put it here. The same but minor changes. Yeah, like for example, the rigging was not so good in 3.0 because this is my first time rigging a model that is not really symmetrical and not forward facing. So like you'll notice when I'm looking this direction, like this is forward, this is like to the side, this looks fine, but this one is like a little bit weird because it's not designed to be rigged that way. But it's okay. I did the best I could, and yeah, I think it came out nicely. In fact, a lot of people confess to clicking onto the stream for the first time simply because they saw like the teacup. It stands out a little bit, which is why when I want to work on full body models, I don't want to do the just standard what's it called, standing. I want to give them like a little pose, maybe they're holding something, that kind of stuff. Something to like spice things up rather than kind of just standing like a stickman, if that makes sense. So yeah, maybe give them a pose like their hand on their hip, maybe holding a weapon or something. The one I'm working on now, floating ominously, holding a fireball. I can start rigging the mouth now. That'd be entertaining. Yeah, I hope so. So, Ori, if you care for it in your Discord, I sent the art I was doing. Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, it's pretty. It looks like what's that game? Hollow Knight, the one that everyone's playing recently. Is it inspired by that? Yes, as the Hollow Knight character. Ah, I see the resemblance. I never played Hollow Knight, but a lot of people really seem to love it. It seems like a really good game, but I don't know. I usually shy away from what's it called? I usually shy away from like 2D games for some reason. Hold on, I need to react to this. Yeah, I shy away from 2D games just a little bit, unless someone, what's it called, kind of roast me into one. I usually stick to 3D. It's not like it's not really like a conscious choice. It's just something that I notice. Whenever it comes to a game, I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is 2D. I'm like, eh. I think I like the freedom of movement, if that makes sense. I'm a 2D person myself, especially the classic ones, and yeah, freedom makes sense. I feel like with 3D games, the chance of cheesing things is like a lot higher. Excuse me. I just hiccuped. I don't know if the mic picked that up. I hate 2D games, looks itself. Do you play a lot of 2D games? Because at first I thought you were trying to be ironic and be like, life 2D, VTuber, they're 2D, they hate 2D, that kind of stuff. Then I'm like, wait a minute, you have a 3D model though. Oh yeah, it was. But you're 3D. You have that third dimension. I don't think you use it a lot, but it's there. I feel like you could do a lot with 3D. Like if I had to pick, right? If I could get a 3D model that would look exactly like this thing in some weird, how do you say this? In some weird way that doesn't make sense, it would look exactly like this. I would go with 3D model Yeah, 2D is a mindset. I've slowly come to hate that word mindset because at my old workplace, it was their cop out answer for not knowing things, but going like, hey, this ain't my problem. You just need to learn to solve it. But the problem was they didn't do their job. So I think I've just slowly started to like hate it simply because of the context it was used in. It's given me the ick. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Hi, Ruby. Welcome on in. You don't have the mindset equals think our way or don't think at all. I would prefer to even not think at all. Put it this way: I'm like, hey, I solved this problem like this. Oh, I don't like the way you solved it. Okay, how do I solve it? Figure it out. They don't have a way. That's the crazy thing. I asked about like SOPs. They're like, oh, we don't have that. But when you try to do it your way, they're like, oh no, you shouldn't be done like this. So how do I do it? I don't know. Make it nicer. How do I make it nicer? Figure it out. We don't spoon feed people here. We want to have people have a self sufficient mindset. That company is gonna die and I'm gonna dance on its grave. I am a petty cat. I wouldn't even have to do anything. I work retail, I know how that works. Don't know things or else you become everyone's help desk. I don't mind helping people out. Nadia pinpoints at taxes. Ooh, don't get me started on taxes. Put it this way: if you are an engineer, right? Your qualifications are in tech, and you have no corpo experience. It's probably a good idea to hire someone who knows how taxes and the law works. That company does not have a single person who is not an engineer. They're all they're all tech people cosplaying finance bros. So they have all of the negative qualities and personality traits, but with none of the competence and know-how. Not even competence, basic knowledge in the field. It got scary when I saw like how they were handling like legal documents. They were playing loose and fast with the law, and I was like, I am bailing. Allegedly. I haven't said who they are, so that doesn't count as defamation. But for all intents and purposes, this could just be a story I made up for the sake of entertainment. So that is my legal defense. I'm a silly cat on the internet. Nothing I say is real. Your Honor, yes, I did say all those things, but I also said in Minecraft, so I'm free to go. Are they even real? I would ask myself that every day after like the first 2, 3 months of working there. Because at first I thought like, oh, this is a little bit weird, but they probably know what they're doing. And towards the end, I'm like, they have no idea what they're doing. I need to abandon ship before they launch it straight into an iceberg. So yeah, I'd say that job was very good for me because it taught me that a lot of people in the world are horribly incompetent and unqualified, but they still survive and do fine. So I should be okay. If your fictional company goes down and you dance on its grave, you should show us the name and stuff. No, I've talked about the reason I don't say what the company is or even what I was doing or what they do or anything for the purposes of doxing myself. Because it's a very niche company. They do a very specific thing. And I think there's like four companies that do that thing that are in that industry in the country. So, for example, say I talk about what that company did, what they sold, what they built, what they researched, etc. And now people are like, "Oh, okay. He worked at one of these four companies." Then from there, you go, okay, he sets a small company out of these four. This is the smallest one. The rest are kind of big. Okay, we've narrowed down his place of work. And then you start scrolling through their company website, their social media. They have like a bunch of pictures of the employees and stuff. It's like, oh, okay, he mentioned he was a foreigner, right? So he should be the only one who doesn't look like he belongs there. And next thing you know, you have my picture, you have my name, you have everything. And then next thing I know, people are knocking on my front door and trying to kidnap my cats. You can never be too careful with the details you give on the internet. This is an example of how people can use the stuff you say as a little offhanded comment. By the way, the kind of information like you would give out like that would probably be spread out over the course of like a full year. Say you have like a craze stalker in your chat, right? You may assume they're like a perfectly normal person, right? But they are maybe obsessed and infatuated. They have a counter of like 600. I'm just kidding, Nadia. I'm poking fun at you. But imagine there's like a real stalker, a real crazed person who's like a serial killer, right? Don't say obsessed. What is the feather counter up to? I think the last time I saw it was what, 600? Not the kitties? Exactly. I gotta protect my babies. I'm just saying Wally's sleeping on the floor. He's not gonna protect himself. Do you know what you do? You know what Wally does when you grab him? He just goes limp. Like you could just pick him up and put him in your pocket. He won't do anything. Super easy to kidnap. Julian might put up a bit of a fight. But yeah, say you have like someone who is very upset, not obsessed. Say someone who is out to find you. Say they're a hater, right? Say they're a hater and they want to do you harm. And they're a very passionate hater. They'll watch all of your streams. Say they watch all of your streams and they make a note of everything you say. So you'd be like, oh yeah, I worked at this thing. They note down, they're like, oh, okay, he worked in this industry. Oh yeah, it was a small company. Literally goes through every company that does said thing, narrows it down by size, know where you work. I'm like, okay. I've mentioned before that I worked in Malaysia, but I was a foreigner. Look for the one guy that doesn't belong there. Yeah. Next thing you know, they now have your name. And in the cases of things like a LinkedIn, they now have like your personal email and all of that stuff. They'll probably find like very old accounts and kind of triangulate your location. And yeah, next thing you know, you have a crazy stalker. Hi, Kaji. Welcome on in. Hi, Remy. Welcome, welcome. We were talking about how not to attract stalkers. Because very offhanded details about like your day-to-day life could be used to piece together kind of who you are. So yeah. Remember when we used to do art here? Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's an old meme. I promise I'm not old. I am a Zoomer cat. Those were the days, huh? Yeah. Rage comics and shit posting. I want to make the mouth a bit smaller. The chicken is not amused. Wait, what chicken? This chicken? I was supposed to buy chicken today. Do you know what I hate about the UK, right? The labor laws. Everything on Sunday is closed at like 4 p.m. Sunday trading? Yeah. I went out today. I packed my grocery bags, put on my sunblock, ready to go for a walk, do some shopping, buy some more coffee, right? I get to the shop, I get to the mall, the doors don't open. And then I'm like, crap, it's a Sunday. I'm like, okay, this shop is closed. Maybe one of like the smaller ones are open. I check Google Maps, literally all of the grocery stores that I go to, all closed. I went back home empty-handed. I left my house, walked for 15 minutes, and then just walked back home. That's all I did. I don't understand why. Wait, we have a British person here. Nadia, can you explain to us why is your country like this? As someone who is new to the UK, I don't understand. In fact, like I had to wait, you know what? The other day, I was using the bus system and I didn't know how it worked. So there I was. I basically walked in. I asked the driver, I'm like, hey, can I like scan my card here? Because I don't have like a bus card or whatever. But you're able to like just pay with your debit card or whatever. And I didn't know like what the price was. I explained to him like where I'm going. He seemed kind of confused that I was talking to him, right? But he's like, just scan here. So I did. Anyway, I was in the bus and I didn't know what to do like when I left because I see there's something that says scan when hopping off. I'm like, do I scan that when leaving? What happens if I don't? And all of that stuff. So I just Googled how buses work in the UK. Hold on. Because this is a long bus ride. It was like 1 hour. I was basically going to like some other town. Let me see if I can find that Reddit post. Mm, let me see. There was someone who was probably the most British person there talking about like how awful the things are. Nope. It's not this one. Okay, I found the one. Ivani. Sorry, it's May. I'm used to reading it here on Twitch. But yeah, this is basically how I learned how buses work in the UK. So it's basically someone asked, explain like I'm five how the buses work. Now he says the old market laws for long ago, like religious Christian reasons, all that stuff. Still better because there's some places that don't open at all. Ah, true. But I like to go out in the evening to do my shopping, and I don't like that everything's closed on Sunday. But yeah, this thing made me laugh because I was trying to figure out how the bus worked, and I was looking for like a serious. Hold on, I'm getting the brush tool. I was looking for like a serious thing, but apparently this explained it all pretty well. And yeah, this made me laugh. Do not engage with the driver. They are angry and waiting to strike. Another one. Avoid the spit as the driver thrice damns your begging for shrapnel. I learned what chav means just by reading this. Yeah, the guy was like super angry, and I was like, is this what British people are like? But then later that same day, I was looking for the bus stop, and I asked like this old lady, I'm like, hey, sorry, I'm completely lost. And do you know like where I'm supposed to go? She's like, hey, I don't live here, but I'm gonna help you find it. And she spent like a good 5 minutes helping me look. Yeah, they hate incorrect change and large nodes. I basically never spent cash here. Ow. Hi, Maya. Yeah, see, this is super important because I thought the buses just randomly they stop at all of them. I didn't know you had to like push a button. So that was useful to know. But yeah, this is basically this is basically how I learned how buses work because we don't have them in my home country. Anyway, I try to not talk to random strangers if I can. Hi, Naja and Ordi. I get. What do you mean? I guess. But welcome on in. We're pretending to do art while we yap about literally everything else. How are you doing, by the way? I am doing good. I think I took a break the other day and I feel super well rested, a lot more energetic. I had coffee at like 5 p.m., so it's still in my system. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah. I think like there were a couple streams where I feel like super tired and kind of like forced myself to stream anyway. But I felt like they were super low energy, and I kind of didn't. Looking back at the VOD a little bit, I didn't really like it too much. So I'm like, hey, I am going to make a resolution, right? Where if I feel very drained, I don't stream that day. Because what am I really gaining if I do? If I force myself, I'll be very low energy. It'll be a very uninteresting stream. Most people won't stick around. You're like, "Ah, I'll come back another day, whatever." So, and most importantly, I don't end up resting. So, like, what's the point? That time would be better spent just relaxing. Imagine not having good public transport. I don't have to imagine. That was most of my life. I come from like a terrible third world country, so, a lot of, put it this way, whenever you see the news and everyone is always complaining about like oh, this place is terrible because they have like this, and those are first world problems. I'm gonna be honest. Like people stand like especially in Europe, right? People's standard for very bad is a lot better than what is considered normal in other places in the world, so it is a step up. Felt that? Yeah. I think it's a common streamer thing. I feel like if more people learn to take breaks, the world will be a better place. So those new mascots look adorable. Thank you. Hello. Orb, yeah, very round. There's a lot of bad things in the US, but a lot of great things too. Exactly. I think the I think my favorite sound alert is the riot one. Because there was a time where I would go like, "Hey, no rioting, no uprising, no overthrowing me. This is a dictatorship, not a democracy." And then people would start rioting. And then when I added that sound alert, I think it was spammed for like a full week. I need to figure out how to just like cast magic on these little avatars down here and blow them up. This is a cult and a monarchy for the great Lordikai. To be fair, I don't have much in the way of lore, but what I have established is I am cat, I am wizard, I can shrink down to sit in furniture, to sit in cups because furniture is expensive, or I can make them large and I am normal sized. It really depends on the day. I didn't start a cult, but a cult formed around me, and that's about all I have so far. It's basically the life of Brian situation, the whole I'm not the Messiah, and then they start following him around like he is the Messiah, that kind of deal. But yeah, for example, first world problems seen as kind of inconsequential to people in like other parts of the world. To be fair, I say this as one of said people. One example is like, for example, like minimum wage in first world countries. Sure, it is kind of low and all of that stuff, but people are protected by labor laws. In like my home country, I feel like half the people are, they're getting paid less than that, and it is illegal. It's just that no one does anything about it. The the only two options are either suck it up or get fired, you know? It's examples like that. What else? What else? There are some places where people complain about like a how do you say, like a spotty internet, and it's like kind of slow, and then you ask them what slow is and they're like 100 mbps, whereas like in my home country, I think like the fastest internet you could like get for like $50 a month is like 10 mbps. Like it says 50, but realistically it bounces between like 10 to 30, and power goes out like once or twice a week, and when it goes out it's gone for the whole day. Like I had another office computer which was working perfectly throughout my time in Malaysia until I went to visit my parents and I used that computer there. The amount of power outages basically killed that computer. It shorted something out to the point that every time I turn it on, it gives me some strange error message saying like the case is open, and I think the clock was busted as well. It could not survive a few months with my country's power grid. So yeah, I feel like when I first started talking about like, oh, I moved to the UK, and people are like, why? That's a terrible place. I'm like, it could be worse. I've not disclosed where I'm from, so I'm not going to get into anything specific. But even the original minimum wage in the US was to discourage employees from hiring drunks as they're not worth minimum wage. Really? I thought it was to like protect people, but I guess not. I've had this discussion with friends of mine, especially like friends who childhood friends from my country as well. We're talking about like different places to move to, and we've come to the conclusion there is no perfect place on Earth. Every everywhere on Earth sucks, but it sucks for different reasons. There are some things which are completely horrible and deal breakers to some people, but to others it is like inconsequential. It's funny, the laws that people think are to protect them are actually made to limit people. Yeah, understandable. A goal of protecting the livable wage was part of it, but failed to evolve with the cost of living. Yeah, it'd be rough out there. But I wouldn't know. I'm just a cat on the internet. That can be said about all wages. Most races don't cover inflation. Yeah. You know who doesn't get raises? Artists. So I'm not concerned. I do get paid in like USD, and I live in the UK, so like the exchange rate probably is not for the best, but it is better. Because before, like I had a Malaysian PayPal because I opened my account while I was living there. Now the unfortunate thing is since it's a Malaysian PayPal account, they only allow me to withdraw money in ringgit, which is bad because if I withdraw it as ringgit and I put it into like my other bank stuff, it gets converted into dollars, right? And if I'm here in the UK and I spend that dollars, it gets converted into British pounds, which means I'm converting the same money twice and I'm losing a bit here each and every time I do that. So yeah, unfortunately with PayPal, they do this dumb thing where you're not allowed to change the country. So their solution is close your account, open a new one. But it's horrible because if you have a business account on PayPal, right? What happens is you build a record and you basically earn trust with the platform. Because sometimes they limit like the amount you can like hold or receive per month and stuff like that until you show like you have a clean record. And then eventually they slowly ease up on the limitations. The bad thing about starting a new PayPal account is they basically, how do you say this? I basically have to do all of that all over again. Feel like artists that have clients in countries with good economy powers get paid well. Yeah, if you live in a low income country and you're commissioning people with like like USD, it is amazing, right? Like in Malaysia, they actually have a saying, it's like earn USD, spend ringgit. Because put it this way, when I was there, I basically would only accept like half the commissions that I would get like now, and I was living like a much more comfortable and extravagant life, for lack of a better term, right? Simply because dollars was like worth way, way, way more. Like put it this way, if someone in like the US would casually just throw like $20 at a commission for like a little piece of art, or maybe they commission like a mascot model like mine. Say two people commission a mascot model for $250 each, right? That's basically my month expenses. But here in the UK, I kind of have to do like double the amount to live at like half the quality. I do live comfortably, but not as nicely because like the UK, everything is like way more expensive. So yeah, if you live in like a first world country and you're an artist, I feel like that's gonna be like kind of rough. But if you're an artist and you live in like a very cheap country, like you could get by very comfortably, I suppose. All I need to live is a box of any size, headpads, a cat flap, so I can steal all the food. That's why I stay in the cage whenever I'm on Featherstream. It's rent free. I get free food. Yeah. I wonder how international transactions work in taxes. Depends on the country. You can try Googling it and searching for yourself, depending on like your country, or you could ask a lawyer specifically how it works. Because every country is like different, and a lot of them have like different like trade agreements and all of that stuff. So it really, really, really depends. There is no answer other than it usually works like this, but double check with a lawyer. Yeah, it's so expensive. Yeah. But hey, I guess that's life. Hold on, I'm refilling my water bottle. So basically, I have two water bottles with me. I have like one smaller one, one big one. The reason I don't drink out of the big one is because like it's a much larger bottle and it's like more unwieldy to drink from. So every time I need to refill this thing, I don't know if the sound comes through the mic though. I do have noise suppression, so hopefully not. Yeah, I'm liking this a bit more. The problem with like the little cat mouth, right, when it comes to rigging is it's a lot harder to deform. But if it's something more flat like this, it's way easier. So I think like from now on, if someone has like the little equals three mouth, you know, the little what's it called? Colon three mouth, I'll just make it flat and then make it smile in live 2D because it makes it way, way, way easier and nicer on my end. Exactly like that. A silly cat face. It's adorable, and I actually have experimented like a couple different ways to solve that problem. One problem that I have, one solution that I had is kind of like clipping them out. Let me show you. I did it with the Hot Shack's model. Like for example, his mouth by default is like the little three signs. I'm like, how do you make this thing frown? Because say you take this thing and you make it frown, right? It's a bit of a deformed frown. Like it doesn't really work. So what I did was I made the mouth move down, and there are these little invisible things that kind of chop it off so it looks like he's sad. So that's one way. Another way is I make it flat and then I make it smile later on. Well, I'll probably go to nap through the day already because yeah, I'm dead tired. So poof back, flip away. Well, thanks for stopping by. It was nice seeing you. And yeah, I hope you have a good nap. Did you stay up all night or did you wake up early? The fact that you're going to sleep, I'm going to assume you stayed up all night because you mentioned being Australian. So yeah, I think it's like what, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. for them? What time is it? Time in Australia. Okay. It is between 4 to 8 a.m. because they have like a lot of time zones all night. Okay, that makes sense. 7 currently. Okay. I don't think I would ever survive staying up late like that. I feel like I used to be able to, and then I'd just be a zombie the next day. I think for the life of me, I can't do that anymore. I like my sleep. Napping is not just a necessity; it is a passion. I can. I'm young and nimble. I may be a zoomer, but I have an old soul. I'm basically the grandpa friend. And I'm probably one of the youngest, truth be told. Because people want to make like plans and stuff, but I'm like, okay, how long are we gonna be there? Oh, we're gonna be there all night? Okay, I'll show up, I'll head out about like 9 p.m. Oh, why? I wanna go to bed. I'm tired. But it's the weekend, yeah, but I like sleeping. And also we'll be doing more often because I like these streams. Okay, don't sacrifice your health for the stream. Enjoy a good nap. If you want to see how the stream is going, we have the VODs. If you want to yap in real time, we have the Discord. Then there's me in their 30s. 30s is not old. Don't let what are they called? Don't let Gen Alpha fool you, okay? They say the 30s are the new 20s. I don't think that's true because when you're like 20, you basically have no responsibilities, but at the same time, no money or resources. When you're 30, and in today's day and age, people are, they're still living like in their 20s when they're like 30. The only difference is they usually have, a bit more experience, maybe further along in career, more money to spend. No, not old, but with my health feels a lot older. Understandable. I think for me, it's not like health or anything. It's just I have a tired soul. No reason. That's just how I am. My idea of a good time is just staying home with my cats on my computer. People go like, "Don't you have to go out, see people?" No. If I want to socialize, I have my friends who I can call up. If I want to do something, right? If I want to go outside, I can take a walk. No need to bring other people into it. I have my weekly games with friends. Very recently, I've gone into like watching along movies with some other friends as well. We finished the Wheel of Time, and to fill the holes in our heart, we've been watching Dimension 20, watching old British comedy movies like Life of Brian. Exactly. It's not for everyone. It's the kind of lifestyle that I think would make especially my dad. My dad's very extroverted. I think he'd be very depressed if like he tried doing that because he like loves people. Uh, to the point that he can't understand that I don't. So if I'm just like inside all day, he's like, damn, that Ordy is just like in all day. He's probably, maybe he's sad or upset about something. We should take him outside, go have a fun day or something. And I'm just there, like dragged out of my room. Or is a house cat confirmed? There are times when I accidentally forget to leave the house and I realize it's been like half a week. And it's not even like oh, I'm trying to stay or anything. It's just I don't realize like time has passed. Cause I'm just doing my own stuff, living my life indoors. And then next thing I'm like, oh, my groceries have run out. When was the last time I went to the store? And I look at the date, I'm like, oh, I went to the store on a Monday. It's basically the weekend. I do have to go to the store tomorrow. Everything is closed today. The default mouth on the reference sheet looked kind of like this. But if I gave it this as the default position, would have been harder to rig, so easier to make it flat and then make it smile. Anyone here watch The Boys? Superhero TV show? I think the new season is coming out soon, and I'm gonna be honest. The cast of Supernatural is in the upcoming season, and that's probably what I'm most psyched about. In fact, I was watching just Gen V earlier today. The guy who played crap, what was that in like the later seasons? The Nephilim, Jack. The guy who plays Jack is in it. So I was like, it's all coming together. They started with Jensen Ackles, right? As Soldier Boy, but they roped in the rest of them. And I can't wait to see that. I recently rewatched Supernatural, so it's still a bit fresh on my mind. I love the boys, yeah. It's a beautiful show. I need to use the bathroom. I remembered I was waiting for the ads. A BRB. Okay, I'm back. What were we talking about? Talk about the boys. Yeah, I love that show. I'm just glad this that I was saying, I don't know if anyone was trapped in the ads. The cast of Supernatural is coming to it. And as someone who just recently rewatched it, I am psyched. The guy who played Jack is in it. I think I've only watched the first episode of like Gen V. So far, so good. I'm excited. I'm hyped for the show. In fact, I'll continue watching it after stream. It's tempted to end right now. Don't worry, don't worry. We can probably finish the mouth before that. A little large, but we can fix that. There we go. And lastly, we have frown. You know, one thing about the models is when it comes to like facial tracking, I struggle to make my models frown with my face. Like for example, this one. My trick is I basically pucker my mouth and basically make a the face of like a fish trying to breathe into the air. You know, they go like they make little popping noises. And that's been my trick to make my model frown. It looks a bit silly if someone is actually looking at me. Like they're like, "What are you doing?" It doesn't look like I'm frowning, but apparently what's it called? Apparently, oh hi Kay. Apparently my camera thinks I'm frowning, and yeah, it's worked so far. Hi King Shrubs. Yeah, frowning is hard. I'm just generally like a very stoic faced person when I'm in my human disguise. I have what the world calls a resting bitch face, which is a bit hard to, kind of sucks if you're trying to pilot a VTuber model. But like anything in life, it can be trained. I feel like VTuber has just made me a bit more expressive. Like I just practice having facial expressions. Because before I just deadpan look at everything. Like if I'm excited, if I'm sad, angry, upset, whatever. My facial expressions on the outside is just like deadpan. I'll be like, oh, that's awful. Or, oh, that's hilarious with the same amount of intensity and excitement. Well, enjoy the lurk. Hopefully my voice helps. It's just the face, not even like not stoicism, because that's like a whole belief thing. For me, it's just a resting bitch face. And some people think I look me. Ow. Some people say I look mean, but I don't think so. Hmm. It's a bit too big. Hold on. Ow. What's that for? Bricks hurt, you know. Okay, and a little bit up. I don't know. I don't think that makes a difference. Hmm. Hold on. We almost finished this. See, I can pay attention to art. Although he looks like he's screaming. That might be a bit much. Well, sorry to hear that, but that's usually how do you say this? It's a normal part of life. Don't stress too much about it. Ow. Okay, this one looks more sad, shocked, rather than horrified and screaming. Okay, we're done with the eyes. We're done with the mouth. Let's make him eat the hat. Okay, so with this one, we're gonna need to clone the hands. Hmm. Should I flip this? Hold on. Does that look okay? Yeah, seagulls are like the rats of the sky. Apparently, because we don't have seagulls where I'm from, but I'm learning to, kind of treat them as an environmental hazard. At first, I thought they were kind of adorable, but now I learned that they're complete menaces. Yeah, and pigeons. Okay, pigeons are adorable, but they're kind of dumb, so they don't actually do anything bad to you. Seagulls, on the other hand, are more than willing to commit crimes. But I like pigeons. I think they're adorable. And like the history of pigeons is kind of sad because like they were domesticated by humans and then we no longer needed them and just like let them be. And then they were so used to like living around human society that they forgot how to live in the wild. And now they kind of just hang around cities because like they don't know what else to do. They'll steal your food before you even get the first bite. Yeah, I remember seeing a sign online. Someone is like, "Hey, if a seagull steals your food, that's on you. We're not gonna give you a replacement. The seagulls don't work for us. It'll steal the seagull." You see, the thing about the UK is they're wildlife, so they're protected by the law. They wouldn't even let you steal them. Okay, this is arm R hat. UK day by day seems worse to live in. Now I feel better. Gotta be honest, not too bad. If I ever dox myself and it becomes public, like where I'm from, we'll have a whole presentation about how it sucks. I feel better because I live away from the UK. You would not survive my home country. Just saying. But I'm going to be honest, it's not too bad. Other than things being kind of pricey, yeah, no complaints. Had a couple of weird encounters with people, but nothing too crazy. Because I've met like a super nice people and also super weird people. So it's kind of a mixed bag, which I guess is like everywhere. I could look pretty threatening. I have the opposite problem. I look too approachable. I've learned to soften my resting bitch face when I'm in public, which may have been a mistake. So when I go outside, I revert to default settings now, just so people don't talk to me. I guess weirdos aside, I guess they're just trying to be friendly. But I'm a very introverted cat. I don't want to talk to anyone. If I'm out in yeah, I've been called approachable, a weed bullyable. Apparently, I give off that energy, and yeah, strangers feel like they can be very forward. So I don't like that. It's okay if like you're chatting with someone. Um, you could do well in Poland. The requirement to live here is resting bitch face. I might move. Yeah, for some reason I don't know why. What I need to do. I talked about this last time. If I want people to stop talking to me in the street, I need to bulk up. I need to get swole. Maybe shave my head and get a face tattoo. This is the way. I need the Rock Johnson build and the Mike Tyson face tattoo. That's why I say break the teacup, become buff Decay, model 4.0. Maybe I should make a small model just for fun. It'll be this exact head, but on top of like a crazy strong body. I think the tattoo is copyrighted, so you can get sued if you got it. Dang. Maybe similar tattoo. I actually don't have any tattoos and no intention to get one. Yeah, like tiny head on massive body. See, that's what I want to go for. For like 4.0 model. Yeah. Tattoos are not for me. For one thing, they look like they hurt, and I'm very against pain. I'm the kind of person, if I was held under investigation, they won't have to torture me. They just need to suggest that they will, and I will spill immediately. Yeah. I've actually seen like some models like that where I think they have like a toggle where the body just becomes super buff. You just tattoo your Twitch handle, easy advertisement. Until I change the username. It happens quite a lot. Um, I feel like half the time, whenever I need to credit someone who commissions me, right? Uh, on VGen, their Twitch links are broken. My solution is I just go to like Twitter and go down a little rabbit hole of clicking links until eventually I find their real Twitch. And then I link it. Cause whenever I make like the showcase, because I only ever do this like at the end of the commission. So I'm like, okay, model done for this person. Their link is, and then I start looking for it. I have a lot of tattoos. I enjoyed them, but at the same time, nothing wrong with not wanting any as well. Yeah, to each their own is the way that I put it. I want them, but can't afford them. Are they that expensive? I don't know how much a tattoo costs. It's in the tattoo on Discord. Okay, let me take a look. Memento Mori. What does that mean? I did a fair bit of mine myself. Ah. I don't think I could handle even looking at it. Okay, I'm terrified of needles. Um, Nothing debilitating or anything like that. It's just I really don't like them. So whenever I need to get a shot done, I go in with like the bravery of someone who needs to get like their leg amputated without anesthesia. I'm just like, Doc, you gotta do what you gotta do. Be quick, and let's just get this over with. And I go in there, it's just a tiny jab, a needle, which I barely even feel sometimes. It's just that how do you say this? The idea of something going under my skin is like, ugh. It's kind of, it gives me the same sensation as like someone scratching like a chalkboard with their nails. So, yeah, I just don't like needles. Why are these visible? Into more, ow. I think the Romans had like something like that. I saw like a post that says I think Roman commanders or captains or someone, right? They basically had a slave to follow them around and whisper to them like you're just a man so that their ego doesn't like get too big. So yeah. That quote reminded me of that. What on earth is this? Latin is interesting to use. Yeah, whenever I need any fantasy names for D&D, I immediately go to Latin. And then I don't even just use the Latin word directly, I change it up. Okay, that problem is fixed. Okay, I feel like all that is left is the arm jiggling. Yeah, the physics and looking left, right, up, and down. I feel like half of the work is just like in the expressions, like the eyes, the mouth. Okay. We got this. Let me just finish this arm. And he's floppy. I'm gonna go E. Wish you all the best. Bye bye. Till next time. Well, I'm thinking like now is a good time to call it. Let's see. Do we know anyone? Mm, nah. We could just call it a day. Well, thank you everyone for stopping by. I hope you had a great time. I know I did. And yeah. This is usually the part where I rate out. Usually the part where I rate out, but I don't think we're gonna do that today. And I don't have an ending soon screen. So we're just gonna sit here awkwardly until everyone leaves, and once I see the viewers number reaches 0, then I'll end stream. Have a good one, Ori. Well, thank you. You too. Good night, good morning, depending on where you are. I think the Australians is like morning time now. For me, it is like 10:30 p.m. Not yet bedtime. I think I can squeeze in an episode of Gen V and then go to sleep. So, I. Oh, you rolled the dice. You got an 11. Mid afternoon for me. Ah, okay. That's a. Where's it in afternoon today? Or right now? You know what? Time zones are hard. We need to flatten the earth so that the sun hits all places at the exact same time, and then we'll all have the same time zone and we won't have to think about it. I'm US based. Ah, okay, okay. That makes sense. So, bye bye, everyone. This is where we're gonna call it. And yeah, I'm gonna go watch TV now with my cats. She's been super cuddly. Every time I lay down, she like sits in between my legs and then she just like sleeps and doesn't move. And it's been adorable. So I'm gonna go return to that. And yeah, have a good day, everyone. Slash night. And you know what? I'm just rambling. Bye bye.